fellow babies. Welcome back to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. We are especially thankful to our Patreon patrons and our YouTube subscribers for keeping us afloat. Keep that up. Thank you. If you're not doing that, or if you are doing that, please remember to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. That's free. It costs you absolutely nothing. Easy to do. There are instructions on how to do it in the show description below. 3 clicks. You have to redo it every month. So please, if you haven't done it in a while, do it. Shane gets paid, I believe, $250 each time you click on that. So click on it. 3 clicks, $250. That's a really nice thing to do for Shane. Today's question from YouTube, from Cash Money Bling 9699. What is the solution to the lack of PlayStation first-party software output? You said in the past that Xbox is playing chess while PlayStation is playing checkers. So would Sony need to make a pretty significant investment move? Is it smart to invest more time and money into prestige games from studios like Naughty Dog that take 5 to 7 years to create? Sony made the biggest mistake I think they made lately was getting rid of Andy House and then getting rid of Sean Layden. Andy was an oddball, but a very competent leader, and Sean Layden was great. And they replaced Sean with Herman Hulst, who was really good, but then pushed him aside. They got rid of Shu Yoshida, who was really good. They put Jim Ryan in charge, who was really bad. But they are not thinking the way the old Sony entrepreneurial guys were thinking. So Kutaragi had Kaz Hirai, who was a Japanese American. He was American. He went to school here, high school here, I think. And he thought like an American, thought very Western. They always had a Western PlayStation leader, being Andy House, being Jack Tretton, being Sean Layden, being Jim Ryan. He's English, but Jim was a CFO, and so they started doing stupid shit when Jim took over. And the stupid shit was, everybody makes all this money in live services, we need to do live services. Now let me just give you the quick lecture. The gaming industry is about $200 billion, and about 20 of it is console, and about 20 of it is PC and other PC related or console free to play like FIFA Ultimate Team. The other 160 is mobile, and live services is that 20 billion of other stuff that's not console. And some guys are really successful at it. FIFA Ultimate Team, really successful. Call of Duty Warzone, Grand Theft Auto Online, Apex Legends, really successful. So Sony went, we need some of that, except that they bought Bungie to do it. And Bungie, made Halo. They're obviously very talented. They made Destiny. Destiny was good. It had ongoing in-game spend, but they paid $3.6 billion for it. And they didn't buy a mobile publisher like Scopely for $4.9 billion, who has $3 billion or $3.5 billion of revenue. Bungie has $300 million in revenue. Just dumb. They didn't buy Niantic, who has $1.5 billion in revenue. They didn't buy people who know how to make live service games. And then they turned all their console developers into live service developers, which resulted in Concord being shut down, the studio being shut down, which resulted in Jade Raymond being let go and her game canceled. They are bad managers. They don't know what they're doing.
This episode of Pachter Factor is brought to you by DeShazer Ryan Realty. It's time to find out why everyone is buying homes in Montana. Right now, Doug DeShazer has a beautiful single-level home with a triple-car garage available in the best neighborhood in Libby, Montana. This custom 3-bed, 2.5-bath home has a 500-square-foot patio for entertaining. It's built to last with solid wood core doors, Anderson windows, an asphalt driveway, central AC and heat, and a private well to run its sprinkler system. The price was recently reduced, and owner financing is available with 20% down. No matter where you're looking to buy in the US, Doug DeShazer is licensed to help. Make him your real estate consultant at 406-291-1643. That's Doug DeShazer at 406-291-1643, or go to LibbyMontanaRealEstate.com.
They should do what they're good at, and they should buy what they're not good at. And so to buy what you're not good at means you don't buy Bungie, because Bungie makes console games. Sony's good at that. Buy King, buy Zynga, buy Supercell, buy Peak Games, buy somebody who knows how to make live service free-to-play games. Buy Respawn. We didn't know that Vince Zampella could do it, but he did. But no, Sony, I think Sony has lost its way, and I think evidence of that is like raising the price of PlayStation, launching the PSVR at whatever it was, $550, PSVR 2, launching PS5 Pro at $700. They're just losing it. They have no idea what they're doing. I think the solution to Sony software problem is get rid of all the people in charge right now and bring back some of the old ones, or bring back new people who know what they're doing. They just pushed out the smart people. And when they hired Jay Raymond, I was really excited. I just didn't know she was working on a live service game. But it turns out everybody is. That was Naughty Dog. Remember, they made a live service game that apparently was really good, but never coming out. This is sort of like a movie studio saying we're going to make TV shows. It's just not the same. Like a movie is a 2-hour experience, beginning, middle, end. A TV show goes on for 6 or 7 seasons, and there's a story arc, and it's hard to do it over multiple years. Sony is just like, oh yeah, we're going to go from movie studio to TV studio. Well, you don't do it with the same people. You get different people. The right solution is to have 14 studios taking 7 years and having 2 big games a year. I mean, that's the right solution. I talked to EA, Byron Beebe, good dude. Former Activision guy, worked at Infinity Ward with Vince. And he's running the Battlefield franchise. And their goal is 3 studios making Battlefield on a 3-year basis so they can get to Battlefield annually. And he said it's going to take 5 or 6 years before they get 2 in a row. So we're not going to get there for a while. But that's their plan. And that, by the way, they should have done that 15 years ago. They told everybody they want to catch up to Call of Duty. They're finally doing it. Call of Duty figured that out. 3 studios making, and again, they've had their troubles, and Sledgehammer shut down, and Infinity Ward's been, kind of subsumed into Treyarch, and Treyarch has 2 or 3 studios now, but it's always been 3 guys working on 3 different games for annual release. And Sony never got their shit together. Ubisoft has never got their shit together. It's hard to do. But if Sony had 7 studios working on 7-year cycles, they'd have 1 game a year. And if they had 14, they'd have 2 games a year. If they had 21, they'd have 3 games a year. I actually think that's kind of what Nintendo is. I mean, Nintendo's studios are fewer and bigger. They're making, I'd say, pretty consistently 2 frontline releases and 1 or 2 second-line releases every year. Nintendo's got that model down, and so if Nintendo ran Sony, it would run differently. And so it isn't like this is not a cultural thing. This isn't cultural. This isn't Japanese or bad business people. That's not it at all. This is Nintendo's a really good company, and Sony really isn't. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And I think Sony lost its way when they let Kutaragi go, and I think they got worse when they let Kaz Hirai go. And they've just backfilled with career Sony guys who just haven't figured out how to keep up. So their way to keep up was just force live service on everybody, and it didn't. You can't do that. And so Nintendo's the right model. Lots of studios working on lots of projects and getting lots of content out. Yeah, Sony's lost its way. Will they ever get it back? I don't think so. I think Sony is looking in the rearview mirror and trying to guide its future based on its past success, and I think it's not going to succeed. Will they sell, a lot of PS6s? Yeah, they will. People will buy them. Will there be software for it? Nah, just like PS5. And will the PS6 be enough better that you buy one? Not as many of you. So, look, they're on the slow decline. That's it. Will they wake up, fire the guys in charge, and get some new people in? Maybe. The cool thing about Sony is that they've kind of spun off their semiconductor business, their insurance business, and their finance business. So they're kind of left with entertainment, movies and TV and games. And so the games division is going to stand out as being more important as a part of the mix going forward. And so their blemishes are going to be much more apparent. So, the guys in charge better produce, or they're going to suffer. So I expect that we'll resolve this soon. And if I'm wrong, it's because they get a bunch of great content out. Good for them. I hope that happens. Let's remind all of those Patreon patrons and YouTube subscribers that you're doing right, keeping Shane in chips, and allowing us to survive. All of our patrons and YouTube subscribers and everybody else, please remember to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. It is free. It costs you nothing. Amazon pays us. There are instructions on how to do that in the show description below. So please, if you haven't done it in a month, you have to re-up it every month. Again, free. Amazon pays. You've already paid for it. Take advantage of that subscription. You might as well, because it's a freebie. Appreciate all of you joining us on Pachter Factor. We'll see you next week.